What is going on, guys? It's Desired here today, and I will be doing an Elder Scrolls. What is going on, guys? It's Desired here today, and I will be doing an Elder Scrolls video on the Magicka Sorcerer build. This build, mentioned that a couple of videos ago that I will release it at 200 subscribers, and recently I did hit 200 subscribers, and I'm so thankful for that. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and watching my videos. It's been a blast. On the recent videos I've been going off, I've been getting quite a few views. I've been playing a bit of Pixark and Rocket League, why not, but I'm back on Elder Scrolls and I'm better. So let's get right to the action. So first off, I'll be showing my sets, and then I'll go through my character's buffs and the proc. I'll go through my skills and the champion points. So first off, with my inventory, going straight to the sets, I'll go with the styles first. I'll use the willpower, Inferno Staff of Willpower. So this isn't a complete set, I only use it for the staff. This adds a maximum magicka to my front bar, which I need because I'm always on the offense. My back bar is used for defense and for buffing up. I use the Lich set. Lich set is used for magicka recovery and max for magicka. This is really good when you drop really low under 33%. You get like 1000 magicka for 20 seconds. A recovery pretty much on the Lich set. This is really good. And then I've got the Shadowrends monster set, sorry, and the Necropotence. These two work together extremely well for Magicka Sorcerer. The reason why is because this guy right here, the monster set, spawns in a shadowy clan feed that does also reduces damage for the enemy and also deals damage. And when he is spawned in, the Necropotence set works as well because it's a pet. You have a pet active and your max magicka increases. The reason why I run this set as well is for the maximum magicka. This gives us the 50k magicka that we have in this video. I run in pen on pretty much everything except the head. I use infused for armor enchantment, but the in pen is only for the critical resistance as it's really low. I had to bump it up a bit at least. This helps a lot. Our physical and spell resistance is really low, but that's okay. We've got the Boundless Storm buff, and we've got our shield. Our shield always covers up for the resistances. We don't really need to focus on the resistance on this build, mainly on the damage and the magicka. So those are the I've got the Ring of the Lich and the Mage Master Signet. Those are pretty much my sets here, and the food I use is a Solitude Salmon Millet Soup, which is really good in my opinion. Try stat pretty much always. And so let's get right to the character part. So the character, unbuffed, everything, nothing like buffed, no proc. It's 47k magicka. This is just straightforward. 2k recovery, 1.6k spell damage. 39% spell critical, and then the resistances are pretty low unless I buff. These are no need to be worried about. Most people would worry about the resistance, but trust me, you don't need to worry about that at all. Health recovery and stamina recovery are really low, but also you don't need to worry about that. If you're a vampire, you need to be a vampire for this build. Vampire is extremely good for this build, especially when you're low health. Health recovery is not needed because this right here allows you to heal on your offense. So your offense is pretty much like your defense, so you heal up as soon as you attack. I will be showing the full buff. I'll show the buff only, these are just the buffs without the proper proc against them when you're fighting. So here it is. So my spell damage has gone higher to almost 2k, my resistance has gone much higher on both sides. Spell critical is still the same, and the magicka is still the same. So I will be showing the full amount of buff with the proc if you're fighting against an enemy. So yeah, let's get through that. So here we're in Craglawn in Spellscar Way Shrine. This is pretty much where the best XP is. But anyway, I just want to show you the full proc, everything with the shadowy connector. Okay, so look, 52k mag, that's what we want. 45% spell critical, that went up so much. The resistance has gone up a lot as well. What else? Yeah, so the critical went back down because of the set. But pretty much 52k max mag is what we want. That's like the best thing. We've got the 5 stars as well at the top right. Yeah, so that's the buff and the proc all at once when you're fighting in a duel. So let's go straight to the next part, which is going to be the skills. Okay, so for the skills, on my offensive bar I use Crystal Frags, Crushing Shock, Hardened Ward, Endless Fury, and Inner Light and Shooting Star. So the reason why I use Crystal Frags first off is I only use them when I can do the immediate cast instead of just the actual animation. So this always comes up when you use other Magicka abilities. It gives you the ability to cast the Crystal Frags instantly. Crushing Shock is amazing. This is like needed. It's flame damage, it's OP frost damage. Because I use the Inferno stuff, it does flame damage. This is like most OP thing. When they're casting a spell or when they're doing anything, it immediately interrupts them, and it also stuns them for 3 seconds. Hardened Ward on the offensive bar, I use that's my shield. This is used on the front bar because I have low resistance. Pretty much you're always going to be wanting to use this every time you don't have a shield. Every 6 seconds you're going to have to pop one, or 10 seconds, but you'll get used to it. It's really easy to do and you'll be using everything at once. Endless Fury, I mainly use this in my rotation pretty much, but I use it most of the time at the end when he's low. This finishes him off instantly. It's like really good for the ending of a battle when you've got him weak. Inner Light, this is like a passive, but I've put it on the front bar for extra mag. So this is, while slotted, the max Magicka is increased by 5%, and you gain Major Prophecy, increasing your spell critical rating by 2.2k. Oh. But yeah, I put this on my front bar because the back bar, it won't really do much because my back bar is my defense bar. Shooting Star, I know this is not easy to get, but Shooting Star is needed for this build. This is where everything comes in. This is like the tip top of the build. You need this. 15.4k flame damage. This is like everything. This is the biggest damage. Also, that will leave an area of effect after it's used, and enemies will take flame damage as well after that every 1 second. And also, if you kill someone, you generate another 12 ultimate. Oh no, you get 12 ultimate for every enemy hit. So you can 1vx in this, which is really good. My defensive bar, I have Boundless Storm, so this is used to put up my resistance, speed, and my buff. It's pretty much used for buff. Power Surge is used for my critical strikes. This one I have this. It puts up my spell critical, and also it puts up my spell damage and increases my weapon damage. So whenever I do a critical damage, I heal for 2.5k health. So you're gonna always have to you always wanna put this, have it buffed, or else it won't really do much for you. If you don't have it, you need it buffed, so you can always heal when you're in a fight. Always healing up when you're using offense. I have Combat Prayer. It's not really leveled up because I recently started using it, but this is the morphed version. Combat Prayer is really good. This one, it grants Minor Berserk, Minor Resolve, and Minor Ward. It lets you do damage 8% more than usual. Your physical and spell resistance also go up by 1.3k for 8 seconds, which isn't that much, but it also heals you, which is a good thing to use. I use it mainly for the damage 8%. We've got the Haunting Curse. Haunting Curse, the way I use this is I always use Rune Cage to stun, use Haunting Curse, and then I switch to my offense and begin my attack. So make sure before you fight, buff up, use these 3 buffs, stun him, use Haunting Curse, switch, and start your rotation through here. You only need to use these 4 always. This is just a passive, pretty much. Keep it there, so use always that. When you get your ulti, you can use it, which is really good. It also stuns them, so that's why it's really OP. I use Energy Overload as a backup. I don't usually use it, but I had it as a 3rd bar before the patch, but now I just keep it right there in case I run out of Magicka, which you never will, but It's just there in case for a substitute if anything. So yeah, this is all my skills for my set. And now let's go to the champions point. So I run 75 on Siphoner, so this gives you heaps of damage for your light or heavy attacks. It decreases the enemy's health, Magicka and stamina restore, and your recovery for 3 seconds when you deal damage. The lover, I use 75 on Arcanist. It increases your Magicka recovery. This is very important. Healthy, I'm still working on that. I'm not max CP yet, so, and this one increases your health recovery. This is good for health since you always have low health recovery. I don't use anything on here since you don't really need, because it's mainly for stamina. On the Magicka side, on Apprentice, I use Elemental Expert. Right now it's on 10.80%. This is good for Flame, Frost, Shock and Magic damage. This is extremely important in a Magicka Sorcerer build. My spell penetration is 5000, which is extremely good as well. This is good for your weapon and your spells. For which one is this? The Atronach, I use Master at Arms for increased damage done with direct damage attacks, which is pretty much with the staff, or just normal attacks here, pretty much with the staff. So Staff Expert, I use that as well for light and heavy attacks, for destruction and restoration staffs, so this is very important. And even the overload, so whenever you're in doubt or you're gonna somehow you're out of Magicka, just pull out your overload and this will increase the damage. Also, don't use anything here, nothing for physical penetration, because we don't do any of that. Pretty much we don't use swords. But for the healing side, we use on the steed we use Ironclad. We've got 35 points into that right now because it reduces your damage taken against direct damage attacks, which is important. Spell Shield increases your spell resistance, which is also important, and your critical resistance is 36 points into that. This is a very equally set points to put into that section right there. The lady now, we've got 49 points into Elemental Defender, and we've got 31 points into Thick Skinned. This is good for reducing your damage taken from overtime effects and flame frost damage. We've got nothing else in here. This is pretty much extra stuff we don't need to put for this build. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video once again, and leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down what you thought, and thanks again for the 200 subscribers. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.